Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, in this video, I just want to address about expectations. I've written many things, and I've got a lot of people who avidly read what I write, and a lot of them try to do things, and it just doesn't seem to be working. And this morning, I got an email from a guy who he's a follower, and he sent me numerous emails, and I have a lot of respect for him. But, he's saying, he's doing the affirmation, he's running a 3-4, he's not seeing any results. He volunteered for a domain, but he's not experiencing anything. In his life, it just seems like it's the same old, same old. He's saying, what is he doing wrong? I don't know. But what I can do is I can tell you my experiences, okay? And maybe you all can figure out what's going on. The first thing I have to tell you, the first thing I have to say, is meaningful change takes time. You don't just get a college degree by signing up a form and they hand you a diploma. You don't become a SEAL, a U.S. Navy SEAL, by pledging your life for the United States government, and then they give you a uniform and then you start swimming. You have to rise to that point, and training alone isn't it. You have to have some excursions under your belt. Okay. So what's going on for those of you who are doing fate forecasting and doing your affirmation campaigns, or you have requested assistance from domain, or you can't even communicate it all to your Manted? What is going on? And I want to talk about that. Now, I've got to tell you guys, I've been doing affirmation campaigns for a long time because I needed to do it out of necessity, or else I would go batshit crazy. Because of my anchoring role within Majestic, my reality was constantly changing. I had to vocalize what I wanted to happen. When I vocalized things became mitigated much better than what they were beforehand. And so over a period of time, I came to realize that vocalizations cause long-term impacts on your quality of life. Vocalizations cause long-term impacts on your quality of life, and it takes a while. Things aren't long. And it depends. If you're sitting in a mud-sty, a pigsty, covered in mud, and pigs are oinking around you, and you are just in misery because it stinks and you're uncomfortable and it's cold and wet and muddy, and you want out of there, and you're saying, I want out of here, I want out of here, and you're not seeing anything, you have to make sure you're doing things the proper way. One of the big mistakes people make when they do an affirmation campaign is they don't do it in present tense. They say things like, someday I will be rich. Or, there will come a time in the future when I will meet this girl of my dreams. Or if you're a woman, this guy of my dreams. You're always putting things out there in the future somewhere. And that's exactly what happens. They're out there in the future. You're always getting closer, but it's always just out of your reach, like a carrot dangling in front of the donkey. For those of you who know the Little Rascals, or our gang, right? That's what I'm referring to. The carrot stick that's dangling in front of the donkey. Another thing you have to keep in mind is the greater your desires, the further off they are. You have to mix up your affirmations with some immediately attainable things. We call those telltales, so you can see if something's working or not. I am absolutely convinced all this works. Everything from living with a beautiful, gorgeous blonde model to living in a penthouse on the beach to having billions of dollars of access. It all came true. My most outrageous requests came true. But with each outrageous request came negatives. And some of those could be pretty steep, so you have to watch it. That's why I always say keep things simple. Keep things simple. Now, if you are convinced that the affirmation prayer campaigns don't work, then I recommend that you stop doing them. Not just for 4 months, maybe even longer. Give yourself a year. Then try up again. Yourself a really long period of time. Then see what happens. You might be surprised. I also have to tell you that some of my affirmations did not come true. I'm kind of flummoxed. Sure, I can get billions of dollars here on this easy little affirmation, but this other thing that I want isn't happening. Why? It seems like this one would be easier to get. There's something missing. Now, that's a personal thing that I have to deal with, and I haven't no answers, okay? I know that there's physical trends and event sequences that are going on that, and prior belief thoughts that I had and statements I made that is preventing the manifestation of some of these things. Yeah. What you wanted, what you verbalized back when you were 7 years old affects you today. So you have to make sure that you didn't do any interruptive stuff, as well as the potential of people putting curses and hexes on you, which really disrupts everything. That is also a reality. If you are surrounded by negative people or work in a negative place, your affirmations aren't going to do jack shit, because the forces of negativity is just too much. You are saturated. You may want to fly a plane, but if that plane is encased in cement, it ain't going anywhere. Okay? Now, for whatever it's worth, my affirmation campaigns work. But I have to tell you, when I first started doing them, they didn't seem to work very much. In fact, it took between 3 or 4 years, not months, years for some of these things to manifest. And then over time, the amount of time got shorter and shorter and shorter because I had been doing it for such a long period of time. So if you just started and you just landed on your feet right now and you are just getting started right now with these affirmations and they're not manifesting, I say slow down, guys. You are making a radical change in your life right now, going from no affirmations to making affirmations. You're doing it, but your body is still moving forward in the no affirmations phase. Okay. It's called inertia. It's like this. Have you ever tried getting out of your car to push it? The car isn't working, it died, you got to push it off the road. Now, you put your car in neutral and you get out pushing it. When you first start pushing it, it is difficult. But after you get it rolling, it's not so hard, right? It's called inertia, resistance to change. So all your life you got this big balloon of inertia, this big rock. Okay? Doing affirmations is you're starting to move it. It's starting to move. But until you start doing sequences of affirmations, it's not going to start rolling. You have to counteract your initial inertia before things will start happening. Now, for some people, it happens pretty quickly. But for many people, it doesn't. It didn't happen quickly for me. Like I said, 3 to 4 years. Years. But then by doing things on and off and on and off and on and off, they all happened. And I've talked before about trade-offs. I keep on wanting to mention here about my penthouse. Yeah, so here I am. I wanted a penthouse on the beach, like Miami Vice style. For those of you who lived through the 1980s and 1990s, Miami Vice was the cool show, where they're driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis and they're doing with mob bosses and cocaine everywhere and tubs and they've got the the cool ass clothes into a cool 1980s pop soundtrack, and they're shooting guns, and I can feel it happening in the air tonight as they're shooting. I was like, yeah, it's kind of lifestyle I want. I want that nice boats, nice houses, and one of the things I wanted was, a penthouse on the beach. Okay, that was in the 1990s, early 1990s for me. I got it. My first house on the beach was 2018. And then I moved into a penthouse. This was 2016. Then I moved into a penthouse in 2019. And penthouse is basically the top floor. In China, there's all these big skyscrapers here, okay? So I got the top floor. I didn't have my own elevator. I had a shared elevator, but nobody else is going up there because I was the only one who lived on that floor. So I'm at the topmost floor. I'm the only one who's living there. The elevators go up to it, but nobody else gets off because I'm the only one who lives up there. Big place. Big place. Great ocean view. I think I've showed some of you my pictures of the view from the place. And everybody, the vacationers would come out there and hang out on the beach, and I could watch them if I wanted to. Okay, now the reality. Okay, so let me go back here. How long did it take? Fucking nearly 35, 40 years. That's how long it took. A lot of back and forth and a lot of stuff. But it did happen. But it was a big change from living in a trailer park, in a mobile home in a trailer park, living in a 15-year-old mobile home in a trailer park. Big change. You have to get your dreams, it takes time and it takes concerted effort. Don't think it's just going to happen automatically. Now, I did get it, and after spending a couple years there, I said, no way, and I moved out. Because, let me tell you what it's like. Do you know what happens? The sun beats on the top. Yeah, if you're living in a tropical area like this, it's hot. Open the window for a breeze? Yeah, you get a great breeze with a lot of dirt and sand. The house is perpetually dusty. And because of the nice, beautiful ocean breezes, everything rusts. Silverware by the sink, all rusting. Silverware, all rusting. Even though it's stainless steel, all rusting. Didn't think about that when I made these affirmations. Didn't think about that when I achieved my goals and my desires. I wanted that lifestyle. Well, I didn't have that lifestyle. I had a little bit. I ended up having Metallic Man lifestyle in that place because Hollywood is a fiction. Hollywood is a fiction. It's a fiction. It's nice to desire that, but you want something that makes you happy. Anyways. I ended up buying a couple of houses, 3 or 4 houses, live in other places. Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. The point that I'm trying to make here is that your desires And your affirmations will come true, but how long it takes depends on a lot of factors. And so you got to be careful. Okay? Now, I have also had other affirmations manifest in different ways. Different ways. Okay? And some of it's actually comical. I blame my Manta GP for that stuff. Whether I have a Manta GP, I'm still debating upon that. I'm like some kind of hybrid Frankenstein appliance kind of thing you do. So I don't even know what I got. It doesn't really matter to me. I'll find out when I die. But but the important thing here for you guys is to understand that real life is not fast, okay? It doesn't go that fast. It goes slow. And if it goes slow, you can make course corrections. That's a good thing. Remember, it's the journey, not the destination. Blah, 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 blah. You've probably heard that too. So look, you continue doing your affirmation campaigns. Do 3-4 campaigns. That seems to work really good with me. Remember that you have to overcome inertia first before they start rolling. That may take a year or two before you overcome that inertia. It depends on the amount of inertia you had. Remember, friends and family, environment, and geography will play a role in your inertia that you have to overcome. If you have a particularly negative spouse or friends, that is going to be something you're going to need to overcome, because their influences are like tentacles holding you down. Don't let it. Don't let it. I do my affirmation campaigns. I was reading my affirmations today. This is going to be my last week of my 3-month affirmation campaigns. I'm going to stop here, say Friday or Saturday. Maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. I don't really care. It's not critical. And by the way, one more thing. Turning about affirmations. If you can't do your affirmations daily, there's an emergency, you're in a hospital, life is crazy, you get up early, you work all day, and then you sleep, you don't have time for affirmations, that's okay. Affirmations can be considered to be like a job. You do them 5 days out of the week, and then you have a 2-day rest if you're comfortable with that. When a holiday comes, you don't do your affirmations. Okay? Just think of it like a regular work routine. There's exceptions to everything. You want to do affirmations, you want to take your time reading your affirmations, but if life comes in and interrupts it, don't lose sleep over it. It's okay, it's normal. In general, there's many mechanisms that these affirmations appeal upon, but primarily it is consciousness generating thoughts and vocalizing those thoughts within a physical environment. So a container, physical container, resonating to thoughts, causing a new vector change on what will happen in your reality. That's what the mechanism is. You can use different models. You don't have to use a topographical template. That's my methodology. There's other ones, okay? My mother believed in Seth, and there's other people who follow the enlightened ones, and other people follow white hat, black hats, and all kinds of stuff. I don't know what these stuff is. It's not for me. This is what works for me. I think if you're going to get involved in any kind of cult or any kind of belief system, you got to have something tangible popping out in front of you, or else you're not going to believe it. Okay? So what I do is I have a list. I keep a list of my affirmations that have come true. I put them at the bottom of my affirmation list, and I'm constantly adding to them. If one of my affirmations come true, I then take it out of my spreadsheet, move it to the very bottom, and color it green. I got like this long list. So whenever I start doubting myself, and people, as humans, you will doubt yourself. you'll go back to that list and you'll be like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, and then that came true. Seriously, some of the things that I wished for was near impossible to occur. There's no fucking way they would have occurred. I would give them a less than a 5% chance of it actually occurring, and it did occur. My affirmations manifested exactly as I said. That underlines to me personally that it works. So this system works for me. Whether it works for you is up to other things, but I can tell you that everything is about understanding what the system is and then running with the system with a long-term repeatability. You just do it. You just do it. How do you get rich selling apples? You sell them every single day. Okay? Rain or shine. And it will occur. And stop believing the people who say, I could be another Steve Jobs. You could be another Steve Jobs too. Blah, 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 blah. You can be the best you can be, but you can't be somebody else. So don't try. Steve Jobs died in his late 50s, early 60s. I forget when he died. 58, something like that. Young. Do you really want to be like him? Okay. Humphrey Bogart died in his late 40s. You really want to be like that? Do you want to live till you're like 140? I don't. But I don't want to, I want to live a good, full life, and then when it's about time to go, I just kind of go. I don't go to a home where people like visit me once a month. Okay, here you go. Let me see. They watering the plants here? Okay, good. Okay, bye-bye. That I don't want either. Okay. You have to define your life on your terms. And that's what affirmation campaigns are about. Let's talk about something else now. If you don't think they're working, they probably won't work. Your thoughts are what cause things to happen. If you have doubts and you're saying, I don't think they're working, it doesn't seem to be working. You know, I asked to marry this, I asked to meet this big buxom woman who's the woman of my dreams that meets me in her Lamborghini and whisks me off to her penthouse, and it didn't happen yet. It's like, it might happen in about 50 years. Be patient. But in the meantime, if you say, you know, my favorite foods, I eat my favorite foods all the time. That's more attainable, isn't it? Let's talk here a little bit about domain and other commitments, okay? Yeah, we can talk about domain. Just because you volunteer for domain doesn't mean that you're going to see much of anything. You may not even experience anything. Most of what people experience in their non-physical bodies are completely isolated between your consciousness. In other words, they turn off your consciousness, do the changes, okay? And you don't know anything that's going on. And there's a reason for that. If they turn on the consciousness and allow you to participate, you will probably, the fear snares will arise and you'll start having terrible, terrible nightmares and you will be freaking out really, really bad. So it doesn't mean, just because you're not experiencing something doesn't mean things aren't happening, okay? Right now, I'm going to use geopolitical reference. Right now, the SEO is binding a gas line between Russia and a number of the stands to include China. Right now, they're doing it. They're building it. There's guys bolting pipes together and all kinds of stuff. You're unaware of it. Does it mean that that's not going on? No, of course it's going on. But you're not aware of it. Why aren't you aware of it? Well, the news isn't reporting it. Exactly. That's the situation with domain. When you need to know something and participate in something, it will be presented to you. If you don't need to know about it, you don't worry about it. Okay? All you need to know is when it comes time for you to die, you start screaming for domain. You start screaming for your manted, whether it's guardian angel or whatever, and you start screaming if you're associated with other people, you start screaming for your friends. And if you have some passed on kitty cats, scream for them too. It'll make you feel a lot better to have your little buddies hanging out with you. So keep that in mind, okay? And don't freak out about anything. It's not all that bad. You know, I thought it'd be really cool to have a model as a girlfriend. You know, I wanted some girl that would, you know, look like something out of Playboy. So yeah, then I met CJ. And we lived together. Actually, I moved with her to Boston. She had a temper and a addiction problem, and she was fine as long as you were pumping her full of drugs. Sweet. But then an absolute monster would come over her if she's not happy. Her driver's license was the most beautiful picture I have ever seen. I swear I've never seen a driver's license look so well. I was like, damn. Big blonde hair. You know, Dolly Parton kind of blonde hair. Proportionally built. I won't call her, she wasn't voluptuous. She was, she had enough curves. She was a perfect body. Have you ever met anybody who had a perfect body? This girl, she had a perfect body. I mean, it was just perfect. If you were to take the normals for what people find attractive, she was checklisting them, hitting them right down the line. It's great. Be careful what you ask for, guys. Careful what you want for. Be careful what you want. Be careful what you ask for. And don't be such a damn rush. Okay? Things will come. Don't worry about it, okay? Things will come. Because yearning and desire are amplified by vocalization. You get the stuff you want. Or at least the stuff you think you want. Some of these things you must have. They're musts. And when they come, you're fine with it. And as I've said always, when you're doing your affirmations, the things you like in your life and you want them to stay, you affirm them in your affirmations too. Okay? Because if you don't, they could disappear when some of these other things happen. And that might just be the problem with some of you guys. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. Saying, you know, I love my job right now. I want to keep my job right now. I want to stay in this place. But at the same time, I also want to have a house in Hawaii and I want to frolic on the beaches. The two will counteract each other. One thing has to give. Okay. Make sure that you're not sabotaging your affirmations. So basically, this entire discussion here is about expectations and trying to have a realistic appraisal of your expectations. Good things will come. You do affirmation campaigns. You volunteer to be domain and you become Rufus-like actions. And things should be fine. If you, however, aren't sincere in what you want and who you are, the kinds of events that will occur may not necessarily come your way. sincerity is the primary driver in manifestation. And that's about it for now. Be the best you can be. Have a little patience and humility. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Manifest things for the present, not for some time in the future. And you'll find things be going a lot easier for you and smoother. And I know that everybody is different with different desires and needs and everything. I just hope that yours, the ones that you're comfortable with, manifest for you. And the good things happen in your life, and you'll be very interested in the adventures that will manifest. And with that, people, please know, for whatever it's worth, I believe in you. It's true. I believe in you. Take care, guys.
一金一玉一江南，一树一花一远山，这是我画了很久的纸伞。下个雨天能不能再上班？乌云遮了天，屋顶散了烟，雨丝断了线，落在你的肩，围着笑的眼，还着羞的脸，潦草一面沉沦多少年。那一幕风飘过花凋落，你从花中悠然成船过，留下了我一人坐。那年初见过雨一小楼，我见闻琴声墨烟飞过，读不见你熟悉的轮廓。你可否再回眸？我依旧在身后，烟雨伞下一烛火。风飘过花凋落，你在花中角落，留了我一人坐，雨中一颗楼。你没说过这次听错，还期盼你偷听过，陪着我在经过一生的交错。那一幕风飘过花凋落，你从花中悠然成船过，留下了我一人坐。那年初见过雨一小楼，我见闻琴声墨烟飞过，读不见你熟悉的轮廓。你可否再回眸？我依旧在身后，烟雨伞下一烛火。那一幕风飘过花凋落，你从花中悠然成船过，留下了我一人坐。那年初见过雨一小楼，我见闻琴声墨烟飞过，读不见你熟悉的轮廓。你可否再回眸？我依旧在身后，烟雨伞下一烛火。